The following podcast may contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hasta la vista, Tony. Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Tony, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Four Guys in a Movie podcast, the podcast of nerds, where we watch movies. I don't know. We roll a dice.
I really got to write you a script.
Yeah,
Is your
please.
Processor broken already?
Yeah, my chip is... See, what happened is... Tony...
Oh, you're not set on learn mode.
I'm not. I'm not.
It hasn't been for quite some time.
No. It's like 02, I think. Tony came here, he gave me a factory reset. And my programming was ruined, but
He means I took out a CPU and hit it with a hammer a few times.
Yeah, I gained a backup battery in my butthole, and by that I mean I put a C battery in my butthole. Guys, we watched Terminator 2 from whatever the hell year it came out.
It'll put a C battery in your butthole.
It really will.
Off and running. From 1991.
91, okay. That's actually earlier than I thought it was.
Yeah, me too. I forgot.
I was thinking 94-ish.
These special effects were like cutting edge.
So special.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're going to talk about the movie's history. Do we even want to talk about our personal... I assume we've all seen this multiple times.
I've actually only ever seen it once before
Really?
this. Yeah.
Okay, so
Wow.
maybe it's time for story time with Joe.
I don't know. I just remember seeing it and I wasn't that excited about it because, like, I
You're like, I've seen
remembered. Well, I didn't like the T-1000 being so much more powerful than Arnold. And for some reason, I remembered it being like all car chases, which is clearly not. But
Got a lot of them though.
yeah.
Well, it's exposition with car chases sprinkled in.
Yeah. I just remembered like seeing this as a kid and just being like, I kind of liked the first one better.
Okay. We'll get into that a bit more later. But yeah, I think you and I have seen this numerous times.
Yeah, I've seen it a handful of times, I would say. But I don't really have any stories or real history with it. It just exists within movies I've seen. I know it's a movie that mostly everybody's seen.
Yeah, that's one where I don't even remember if we saw it in a theater or rented it, but like saw it somewhere. Seen it once or twice since, whatever.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably bootleg VHS.
Very well could be. Nothing special.
Yeah. So we're gonna do some history of the film.
If I remember right, VHS was a pain in the ass because it was like liquid metal. It was hard to get in there, and sometimes it just wouldn't eject.
Well, I would just like reach underneath and tickle its balls, and it would get pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes if you twisted it the right way, it would like become way longer.
Yes.
Yeah, I found getting it in the VHS player wasn't as hard as getting it out.
Yeah, well, that's it. Once it's in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to take the whole thing apart. But that's how I learned how to do
that's
that.
why
Skynet gets in your VCR.
Here's the thing. That's why I never watched the film to completion. So.
Did you ever get it to completion?
No.
All right. So, yeah, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, 1991. So we already said James Cameron, who...
hold on a second. I got to change my battery. Yeah, James Cameron, we know from films like Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
And the Titanic.
And Avatar 3 through 7.
Yeah, we'll see. But also True Lies, which we previously did.
And Aliens.
And Aliens.
And Aliens 4, The Way of Water.
Now, if we could have the aliens go to Pandora...
I would.
That could be pretty awesome.
So much money.
I would be in then
to see that.
Yeah. But I can only assume now the Blue Navy are looking for the heart of the ocean or whatever. But anyway. So history on this movie. And this is one that I was happy to read about because I had wondered for years about this. But the reason Edward Furlong sounds so terrible is that was all redubs. Because during the course of filming this movie, he did get older, his voice cracked. Apparently they had to do some shots where...
Hold on a second. What? Because he sounds like a little girl in this whole film.
because they had him record his lines and then they pitched them up to try and match when he was younger.
That's a fucking mistake.
Yes, I think that was.
Because, yeah, I mean, the biggest complaint I could levy against this film is, like, why couldn't this kid just be, like, 3 years older? And even with the same dialogue, it would be nowhere near as annoying. It's like...
Probably.
It's like the Nolan Batmans with, it's like, why does he have to do that voice? Like, no matter what's going on, the fact that it's being done in that voice is ruining the
Just
scene.
sucks the air out of the whole thing. It's like,
this is one of the few science fiction and sequel movies to get Oscar nominated, or Oscar? I think it's Oscar. Whatever. Some awards and such.
It was nominated by Oscar the Grouch.
By Oscar the Grouch.
He does love trash.
The U.S. Federal Nuclear Testing Lab deemed this the most accurate depiction of a nuclear explosion, which I'll give them that.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome looking.
Yeah.
Apparently,
miniatures.
Yeah, apparently, originally the villain, the T-1000, was supposed to be played by Michael Biehn to do kind of a full reversal, but I guess people
that could be interesting.
I guess they thought that would be too confusing for people.
Stupid people, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Well, they called him up, and he was like, I'm sorry, I'm too busy not being in Alien 3.
That's right. Or anything.
But this movie obviously did a lot of trickery. It was, state-of-the-art at the time for its CGI. Also very smart in using a bunch of twins. Obviously the security guards, but also Linda Hamilton's twin sisters in the end there.
Vasquez's boobs, am I right, everybody?
And
I didn't realize Linda Hamilton was a identical twin.
Yeah.
Is she really?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
And also the freezing of the T-1000, they used, a mixture of basically just putting his feet through the floor and an amputee with some prosthetics, so the arm breaking off and stuff. But yeah. Want to guess how much it cost to make this?
I'm sure it costs a lot.
This is because, like, Jurassic Park's like a $60 million one, and that's kind of what I use as the benchmark.
And we're never right.
Yeah. I feel this is more expensive. You go ahead.
I'm going to say $100 million.
Yeah, I'm going to go like $70
And even
million.
that I feel is lowballing, but
It is by about $2 million.
oh, it's $102 million?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I want to guess how much it made.
A lot. 300 million.
Are we talking like overall worldwide gross? Yep. I'm going to say...
Oh, wait, it made more than that, yeah.
I mean, I'll get closer than Joe as long as I don't go over. I'm going to say 500 million.
520 million.
Okay. All right.
You're
I'm
getting
doing
there,
pretty
Rob.
awesome.
Yeah, you're getting there.
This is the closest I think I've ever been.
You're working it out. So yeah, that's what I got. Who's in this?
There's some people in this movie, Joe.
Who are they? All right, so you got an Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. You got yourself a Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor. Who the hell played the kid? I don't know.
Edward Furlong.
Edward Furlong.
Eddie Footlong.
Fucking up the whole thing. Then
Ed, and Eddie.
you got Robert Patrick as the T-1000, and I think that's basically everyone that we need to know about.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Earl Bowen and Michael Biehn reprised their characters from the first movie, although Michael Bihn's a ghost. He's a blueberry.
I think he's cut out of the theatrical release.
And Joe Morton as Miles Dyson.
Well, yeah, that's the only other important one, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's Joe Morton.
Yeah, he had a small role, but it was arguably an important role.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a really good job.
It's Joe Morton.
I mean, yeah, he plays the same character basically in everything
yeah.
he's in, but he always
Plays the hell out of that character.
He does play the hell out of that character. The same cannot be said for one Edward Subway Footlong. And I only call him that because he works at a Subway.
Is he actually?
I don't know.
So Macaulay Culkin did for a while. So
Well, they probably worked at the same one.
that's what I was wondering.
And probably was in an actual subway station. Now, are we jumping right into the movie, or do you want to get whatever your...
I heard about a food item.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering where the Fat Chat courts land on this.
Okay.
It's a flavored ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Flavored like Grey Poupon.
No.
What the hell?
No.
That's my thought.
Now, where is it? And I will I'll get it to test.
I don't know. I saw a thing online about it. I don't know where you can actually get it.
It sounds atrocious.
I didn't even go into the reviews to see how it was. I just saw it and was like, nope, kept scrolling.
I mean,
see you later.
Everyone's entitled to their fair day in court, but like, that's a tough case to argue.
Yeah. I cannot imagine.
You might as well just plead guilty on that one.
Yeah. So I also have a question for Fat Chat Court. Taco Bell has released only in California.
Fuck them already, but okay.
And only in one location in California, a Crunchwrap Supreme with a giant ass Cheez-It in it.
Okay, so I saw there was a big old Cheez-It, but it's only in that one location?
Correct.
Why the fuck are they so
For
special?
2 weeks. I think they're testing it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that's...
Because you want to go to where people are the most gross and have them test your food, tell you whether it's good or not.
They're right here, and they did not come to us.
I mean, more gross. In different ways.
I don't know. Like, I feel like a Cheez-It is something that the ratios mess up, like when it enlarges.
Okay.
I mean, is it still, like, as thin as a Cheez-It, or does it...
I don't know.
Yeah, I have to see the Cheez-It.
Yeah, because, like, especially, it doesn't matter the size. If you're talking like a big square Cheez-It, just kind of plopped in the middle, that's not gonna work, right?
Listen, I don't know.
You need the shape for the taco.
So, I probably have a minority opinion here, but, like, I'm not a big fan of hard tacos for pretty much anything, so I'm not a big Crunchwrap person anyway.
I'm with you on that, actually.
I can go either direction. I like both.
Yeah. I prefer burrito.
I do like the Crunchwrap just because I do like that little bit of crunchy texture.
If you're near a Moe's, the Moe's stacker renders the Crunchwrap Supreme totally irrelevant.
But I would say the Doritos Locos Cheesy Gordita Crunch trumps all of those things.
Well, that's it's pretty special.
Well, I agree with you on the crunch thing. That is nice. You know what I really like about burritos is that they stay burritos,
it's
and
just
I don't
a tube that you can
Well, yes,
empty
but
the contents into your mouth.
It doesn't just become a bowl full of ingredients in like a matter of seconds.
Yeah, after like 2 or 3 bites, the spine breaks.
Oh yeah. I've never.
Well, that's why I never
gotten
go
more than a
straight
bite into a taco.
That's why I never go
destroyed.
straight hard taco. I always get the cheesy gordita crunch or the chalupa that has the shell.
Yeah, that if it has like another layer to maintain the integrity, then it works.
All right.
Either way, I'm gonna say pending judgment till we see the giant Cheez-It, and by see I mean insert in our mouths.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll table this for now. Very quickly. One of our crew here did have a birthday recently. And while I did not get a cake for Joe, I did get him some birthday Three Musketeers.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Just for you.
Oh. Thank you, Rob.
And I also got this because it's new. It's a female Hershey bar.
Well, help celebrate Hershey wise.
Hershey wise. Although I feel it's a missed opportunity. The she is highlighted in pink. It's a missed opportunity. They could have highlighted the her as well and really doubled down on it. I don't know if there's estrogen in this or if it's just regular chocolate that they're being weird about, but I got you that too.
I mean, I will devour it as a tribute to the character Hershey from Escape from L.A.
Okay.
See,
who I forgot if that was a man in drag or not. I forgot who was playing that.
I don't remember.
It's all good.
Anyway.
So the Terminator 2.
Okay.
Hashtag Dawn of Justice.
So we start
not even
in the shot of Los Angeles in 1997. And it sucks. And then it goes to Los Angeles in 2029, 7 years from now. And it's a scorched out hellhole.
It actually probably sucks less than Los Angeles actually does right now.
I'll say it doesn't look like a drought's happening there.
Less people to worry about. I'll give them that.
Probably less shit on the streets.
Yeah. No assholes are out watering their lawns in a fucking drought. So, yeah, you get yourself a little pew pew G.I. Joe style laser battle, where you got man versus machine here. Some of these guys have a laser belt fed Gatling gun. I don't know how that works.
It's very G.I. Joe-esque.
Yes. Yeah, the things that are clearly not lasers firing lasers.
Also, I guess I should ask, Joe, you gonna get that $300 his tank they got?
That's a lot of money for his tank.
It's 6-inch scale. Comes with a pilot and another guy. Has like LED lights and stuff in it. I think it has real treads.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna save up for that big ass Lego castle. It's
Yeah,
like $400.
that's fair.
And how much is it? You said?
It's 300. It's one of the HasLab projects. But they keep adding. So I know this is a tangent. It's HasLab is Hasbro's crowdfunding program, so it has to reach a certain goal. It was a goal of 8,000 backers. It hit 10,000 plus backers in less than a day, and now they're just like they're just rolling through stretch goals like it's nobody's business. It's absolutely crazy.
How many stretch goals do they have to hit before they make it big enough for me to drive?
All of them. I think if everyone on Earth backs the project.
How many stretch goals do you need to hit before I can afford it?
Yeah. No, the price is just gone. Like no one's ever going to be able to pay for this.
Yeah.
Now I don't need to be like inside the driver's seat. If it's like a Power Wheels that's just big enough for me to cram into the gun turret, I'm okay with that.
We could just make one of those for you.
You know, we could. Sometimes I forget we're adults that have skills.
Yeah, somewhat crafty. I got construction paper.
Yeah, both those things are a bit dubious, but
I've got multiple chairs. All right, so Terminator.
All right, so we're given an important piece of information.
Sorry, if I could just if we can make a gunner seat in the back for your cat.
Well, yeah, or put the cat in the driver's seat. And
Cat's gonna be the backpack.
Yeah,
gunner seat.
That's fine.
Anyway,
so we find out basically the day that the Skynet came active and launched the nukes was Judgment Day. And that was when that guy, you lifted up the trash can and that guy was like, Judgment Day. And yeah, Sarah Connor was like, no, and then nuclear explosion. It was a weird added scene. So now, after we see some battles going on here, we learn that 2 Terminators were sent to try to exterminate John Connor, and we see a non-Christian Bale version of John Connor.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. And, learn one tried to take out John Connor's mom, who in this case is the narrator, and one tried to take out him as a child. And then we get a title card. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. We see a playground on fire, and a Terminator skeleton kind of zooming in on the camera.
Yeah.
But then it's lightning time, and we got to deploy a naked Arnold.
That's right. It's not the last ass we'll see in this movie.
No.
But yeah, he rolls on in. This big old self.
Again, slightly questionable thing of they can only transport naked because it has to be organic things, even though he's not an organic thing, but he's coded an organic thing, which raises a lot of questions for me. But
yeah, I would always think you would want to just make a cargo pod and cover that in flesh.
That would be better. Oh, for that matter, just why aren't hide guns in him? He's got metal bits in him. Make a gun pocket.
The only thing I can think of is Skynet did not have a lot of time and had to use what it had on hand. And those were the only flesh covered things they had on hand.
So it can only transport organic matter?
I believe so.
That's
the point.
That's why they don't come back.
How did the T-1000 get through it?
That was my question number 2.
Yeah. Well, maybe it had flesh for a minute, and then it was just
ripped it off. Look at my balls.
Yeah, it's one of those, again, we'll see a lot of this throughout the movie, but when it's convenient, it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I never really even considered that angle, because, it doesn't make sense, because why would you ever give that a flesh coating? So that wouldn't exist. I mean, I guess maybe you could just shove it in whatever that... I think in one of the movies, we see some kind of mold that, goes over the Terminator skeleton and gives them flesh. So maybe they shoved it in that. I don't know.
Yes.
Either way. So Arnold just walks into a bar, makes all the ladies gasp.
It must be ladies' night. There's way more ladies in this bar than there are dudes.
Well, those naked Arnolds come walking in there all the time.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
It's an epidemic of nude Arnolds.
They only go up to other dudes and are like, I need your clothes, your motorcycle, and your boots.
Which would have been pretty funny if he went up to just one of the random ladies.
That's the next one.
Okay.
So
I'll see myself out.
Arnold comes up to you, asks for those 3 things. I mean, obviously you would get your motorcycle, but like, how do you respond? Do you put the cigarette out on Arnold? That's a pretty dick
I
move.
respond in the same way that I respond to anybody that kind of begs off of me. I'll be like, well, look, I'm not going to give you money, but I'll go get you some food and bring it back to you. I'll bring you some clothes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Rob would be like, why am I in this bar?
I would also be like that.
Shut the front.
Yeah. I would also say that.
I'll throw myself out.
There appear to be other human beings here. I need to leave.
Yeah, I think if I were this guy, I would at the very least be like, fuck off. It's like, yeah, I don't know what his deal is at that point. He's just a big naked man.
But he is a very big naked man.
Arnold's like, you know what you need to get thrown on a griddle?
Yeah. And this guy does not know how to get off that griddle.
No.
It's a problem.
No, he cooks himself for a while. He just beats everyone's ass. And this is one of those things where it's like, after Naked Man walked in here unafraid and threw the first guy on the griddle, I would not want to be like, I'm like, all right, that problem's between you and him.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
It's like, hey, if we all just give up one piece of clothing and put it on the pool table, we're all right. We'll all leave.
I don't know if that would work, because I believe the whole point is he judges that guy to be his...
Yeah, that's fine, but he can't catch us all.
Wow. You say that.
Except for Jimmy, who gave up his shoes.
But yeah, I would not be guy number 2 that's just like, I can take him.
Yeah.
I know he just threw that man like he was a piece of paper, but I got this.
Yeah, I believe guy number 2 broke a pool cue over him. And then another guy was like, you know what, let me try.
Yeah.
Yeah, after guy number 2, like, that's it. We're done.
It's like, hey, did anybody lose some muscles? Because this guy appears to have found all of them.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, the minute I see someone put a cigarette out on his chest and he doesn't blink, I'd be like, I'm just going to be over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to slide out of this scenario. Thank you.
For me to go.
Yeah.
My goodness, that cigarette wasn't even hot. It's so weird.
So he gets this guy's clothes. Guy's like, joke's on you. I pooped in them.
That's right. He never heard of those clothes.
Yeah.
What's that smell?
Taco Bell's new cheese it
I
blast.
pooped in them and cooked it on the griddle. So Arnold gets the clothes, the boots, the motorcycle. He starts it up. The bartender now decides,
I don't have napkins.
oh, it's shotgun time. I need to go, try to lay down the law on Arnold. And Arnold just casually walks over to the man, snatches the shotgun out of his hand,
Right.
no problem,
Right.
and takes the guy's shade. So it's his gearing up montage, essentially.
More realistically, this would be me in this scenario where I'm like, I'm going to do what's right by my buddies. But the minute a guy starts facing me down when I have a shotgun, I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm out. Done. Forget it.
Okay, you can have my gun.
I'd be like, no, I was talking to the guy behind you.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
No,
My dead mother got me those sunglasses. Oh, okay. I guess you can have those too.
I'll bring the whole place down.
So
Here's the keys to the bar.
it cuts from there to a cop investigating some sort of electrical disturbance.
Here's my checkbook.
He finds a chain link fence with a circle melted in it. He's like, yeah, this is above board.
Here's the one condom I had in my
All
wallet.
right. All right.
I never used.
He gets killed by a naked Robert Patrick somehow.
Yeah. Which is less believable, but...
So I guess he needs to be around someone to absorb their likeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has
So
to,
I
like,
guess
come in contact with
His
them?
factory default is just Robert Patrick.
Yeah.
Like that, I guess he can always revert back to that.
They must have given him a default mode.
Yeah.
And
Which
why
is,
is it unbelievable he killed him?
I mean, because Robert Patrick is not, like, made of muscle meat like Arnold. That's all.
But he's...
But yeah, like you're investigating something, a naked man shows up and you're like, what is going on here? And then suddenly his hand's a knife that's going through your throat. Like,
No, I guess you're right. You're right. My assumption is as soon as I see a naked man, it's just, I just shoot to kill just immediately. Training be damned.
So
your modern LAPD.
he takes this guy's cop car. He looks up John Connor. finds out he's got a criminal record, he's got foster parents, and he's a total dickhole.
So would have this made more sense if Robert Patrick played adult John Connor in that one like cutaway scene? So then it was like the T-1000 automatically replicates the.
That'd be an interesting angle,
or at least like a character that you've seen before. So it's not as like, all right, I guess they're like.
There'd be sense to that, but again, like
they didn't.
Where did they get Arnold? I don't know. Fucking hell.
They could explain that in one of the later films.
There are no films past Terminator 2.
We don't talk about those.
One of the many later films.
We don't talk about it.
That we don't talk about. But we'll review if you give us $20.
with Danderness, Tarjarin, and
it's not even.
So,
fucking hell.
We cut to Lieutenant Vasquez, and she has to take care of this fucking little shit, John Connor.
I wish it was Vasquez and not whatever this character is.
Oh, Vasquez, this kid would be dead already.
Yeah.
We'd be fucked in the future.
Like, if his foster parents were Vasquez and Drake,
yeah.
Just first of all, this movie would not last very long.
No, they just smart gunned the shit
out
of Robert Patrick right when he came to the door.
That'd be so good. That'd be so good.
So no, instead it's Janelle and Todd. And they're foster parents to John Connor, who is just a little turd.
He sucks. Yeah. He just sucks.
And he's got, who's his friend here? Who's this actor?
It's Budnick.
It's Bud. Yeah, that's right. It's Budnick. His sick ass mullet.
I was debating whether I should even do that because, like, I'm sure that's all anyone ever says. It's like, oh, it's Budnick.
So, Janelle's like, you need to clean your room, and he's like, fuck you, Mom, and storms off on his little dirt bike.
No, he says, you're not my mom.
Yeah. So you're like, all right, I hate this kid already.
Yeah.
Also, his voice is just terrible.
You're just the person that agreed to raise me so I don't have to live on the street and suck dick for a living.
Wow.
Well, now he just does it as a hobby.
Yeah. Also, one of the many skills his mom taught him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, he said there was just a never-ending train of dudes coming through there. She would blow for a lesson in survival skills.
So we find out that John Connor knows how to hack ATMs.
Here's how you catch a Bigfoot. Now give me a AJ.
And turns out also his mom, I guess, slept with a whole bunch of dudes to learn all kinds of crazy survival skills that she could teach John for the coming Judgment Day.
So far, all the survival skills we've seen are he can make a card thing to steal money from ATMs.
He can make his voice screech fucking horribly.
He can do that.
Yeah.
She taught him Banshee mode
and
skills.
he can piss me off. He's good at that too.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much comes standard on most children.
Yeah, he's a prepubescent kid. It's, but I mean, happens.
Like, I'm nothing against the actor. I'm just, these are pure character complaints. But like,
oh, I have something against you.
Yeah, but fucking, like, he's trying to kid power this damn movie. And
well, yeah, but that's the director's fault.
Yeah,
yeah,
not.
Oh yeah, we're not blaming.
Well, but the screenplay too. Like,
yeah,
written by the director.
That is true. He did. Yeah, he did write it.
Yes, writer-director situation.
Yeah, we've got a prequel situation on our hands here.
And while James Cameron's characters are usually quite basic, they're usually like fundamentally sound.
They're cool usually.
This one.
Yeah, weirdly.
Unless they're Na'vi.
Now you're bringing up the prequels. Weirdly, similar situation where both Hayden Christensen and Cameron Bright, was it? Didn't have a great career after those movies. Neither did Ever for Long.
Cameron Bright. Who's Cameron Bright?
The youngest
Jake
Anakin?
Lloyd?
Or Jake Lloyd. I'm sorry, yes. Cameron Bright's a similar
And after we talked about Jingle All the Way?
Whatever.
Do you not remember the Dr. Seuss float?
But weirdly, at least with James Cameron here, like, he can direct people to sound like people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he's got that going for him. But he didn't do anything with it. That's my point.
So,
anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
It's like poetry. It repeats.
Yeah.
So
you do it in the first movie, you gotta do it in the second. Exactly.
So we cut now to the mom that he does not like. We see Linda Hamilton is fucking jacked doing pull-ups on her upside down bed.
Yeah.
Turns out, I guess she just stabbed this psychologist guy in the knee. It's the psychologist from the first movie who knows for a fact that Kyle Reese talked to him, knew he was there, knew that he was peddling this delusion too.
Right.
Yes.
But he does not mention that at all while he's talking to these other doctors. And they're like, she made this whole thing up.
Well, he also disappeared.
Yeah, but not something like this guy kidnapped her and maybe she Stockholm syndrome or something.
That is true. That is true. That would have been a good, good overall reasoning.
But no.
Well, that's to jump ahead a little here. Also, no one questions that later when Arnold shows up again, unaged, after however many years it was. And they're just like, we know you know who he is. What's going on? Like, she's all doped up, so she's not answering. And it's like, anyone want to piece this together? Like, she doesn't really know who he is, but anything she told you got her put in the fucking nut house, and you doped her up on drugs. So, you know, what do you want from her at this point?
So
you're going to send her over the edge again.
The orderlies, the doctor's like, okay, I don't want people to see her like that. Go in there and just fucking make her take drugs. So they just beat the shit out of her and make her take her medicine.
Yeah.
And then, she's doped up for a while. And we cut back to the T-1000, which I'm now referring to as the Cop 1000. Visits John's parents, gets a photo of him. We find out that also a big guy on a bike came to visit John Connor as well today. So there's two people looking for him.
But it could have just been one of his mom's suitors.
Indeed, yeah. So now we cut back to Sarah Connor, who is in some sexy negligee, and she wakes up, and she's in bed with a Michael Biehn, still in his gross-ass hobo pants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Not even in death does he escape those.
Yeah, your Force Ghost is stuck to being whatever shitty garb you had on when you died.
Mm-hmm.
Until Disney buys you out and
well, yeah, the special editions.
Yeah. That's a different actor.
Well, that's your penance. You have to wait till Disney buys you out and recasts you before you could move on.
Well, they didn't even have to wait that long, but then he got the flaw of being Jai Courtney, and it's again, we don't talk about those movies.
So, all right, she has some makeouts with this ghost, and then he's like, I gotta go. So she chases him around for a while until she runs out into a playground from the mental institution, and there's an old-timey Sarah Connor there in her waitress outfit, probably still filled with ice cream in the pockets.
Probably.
That's what I kept saying when she was yelling through the fence. I'm like, she's just trying to warn the younger her that kid's gonna put ice cream in her pocket.
And then, as we've seen before, the playground gets nuked and is on fire. And Rob has produced some sort of Batman gadget and is destined to hurt himself.
Or one of us.
Somebody.
Yeah.
I can't even explain. You're fine.
I think we're going to be playing Russian roulette with that later.
90 batteries for it.
Oh.
So, now she wakes up and turns out she's just been sitting on the floor the whole time and the drugs worn off.
She's pooped herself.
Yeah. And she's has to go to her appointment now with the psychologist guy and find out whether or not she can see her son. So she stabbed this guy in the knee with a pen and has freaked out on him a bunch of times, but she's like, I've behaved better.
Yeah, I've been better.
I'm like, what was it before?
Yeah. So, I think we find out in a couple minutes from now what it was before.
Yeah, so she's lying, okay, I don't believe in the Terminator anymore.
This is also where I feel like we should mention, we watched, I believe, the director's cut, and I think some of this stuff was cut out.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make a lot of sense that she was, arguing about taking the drugs and then was like, no, I'm cooperating now and everything. it just didn't quite fit.
Yeah. And, doctor's like, look, I know you're just lying to me, telling me what I want to hear. I'm going to keep you in here for another 6 months. And she's like, well, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Choke you with your own damn tie.
Instead of saying, okay, I understand. Just think about it, won't you?
And then we cut
to... Got a ticking clock, man.
I'm going to go back to my room and continue to knit babies out of my own hair. Thank you, Doctor.
Well, fantasizing about...
While fantasizing about Michael Biehn and how he put a baby in me after one night of gross hobo pants passion and my lizard.
So we cut now to this Dyson guy. He's, he's using technology recovered from the remains of the original Terminator to make just the world's best vacuum cleaner.
Yep.
But it sucks so much that it's just going to ruin everything.
And it ultimately becomes the sequels.
Indeed. So he's reversing the Terminator parts to do something, but we don't know what yet. And then,
I mean, we do, but you know.
Which again kind of fucks with everything right off the bat, because that means the Terminators would have never been a problem if they didn't get sent back in time. Because he actively says, "I would have never thought of these things if I didn't find that chip from the Terminator they killed in the first movie."
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's a weird loop.
So I wonder if it would have happened eventually, but maybe not Dyson and maybe not in 97. Like, it might have taken longer initially.
So then, in theory, it's still going to happen?
That's exactly what Terminator 3 says, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there wasn't any sequels.
Shush.
So
you guys got to explain the rules of this game to me.
There are no rules. Reach Terminator 2, stop. And we see now flagrant disregard of traffic laws, a common theme in this movie. John Connor's driving in the LA River, and Arnold's driving his Harley, and he sees him and just does a U-turn in the middle of the road and causes like 4 cars to crash. Mm-hmm. Does not give one fuck. And then we cut to asteroids. They stole money from someone's account to play asteroids. Those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Even back in
$300, I think, too.
Yeah. Back in 91, I don't care. Fucking asteroids.
Asteroids? And were they in an afterburner?
Or I'm sorry, that wasn't asteroids. That was not asteroids. That was whatchamacallit, Missile Command. Okay,
either way, not a $300 theft worth of.
There was a whole variety of games being played because I think Eddie Furlong was an afterburner.
So, after a little while, he went to afterburner.
But still, like they're stealing $300 to some poor jackass so they could play arcade games.
At least they got the game right. It wasn't like Suburban Commando where they were just pretending it was a different game. You're like, it's fucking Afterburner. So
James Cameron can pay the actual games and shit.
So we got Cop 1000 shows up. He's showing John Connor's picture around. He spots John. John's like, fuck it, it's the cops, I'm out of here. And he runs away, but he runs into the Terminator.
But in the meantime, we get some really good kid pushing scenes.
Oh, yeah. T-1000 is an expert kid pusher.
Yeah, we also got a young Nikki Cox in here.
I don't know who that is, but that's fine.
He's using kid pushing techniques he brought back from the future.
Yes. I believe she popped up once before in Mac and Me.
Oh, dear.
I mean, that's not going to jog my memory. I think Mac and Me, all I see is that little dick-sucking alien face, and it doesn't go past that. Couldn't tell you a thing that happens in that movie other than the supermarket blows up with all of them inside.
And the kid dies.
Kid dies. I didn't even remember the kid. Oh, yeah, because they hold him with their dick-sucking faces.
Anyway,
we
already did that movie. Let's move on.
Yeah, a lot of coke is consumed. Both on and off the set.
Fucking this poor maintenance man. Because, John Connor runs into the back room. This guy's like, hey, you can't be there. And then Arnold shows up, and he's like, hey, you can't be here. And then this, the T-1000 shows up, and he's like, you can't be here. And the T-1000 just shoots the shit out of him. And Arnold grabs...
and he says, oh, I shouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
Marketer.
And then John Connor runs. He gets to his little moped while Arnold and the Cop 1000 have the first of their several fights that are, we're just going to hold each other and
push each other into things. Yeah.
We'll put holes in the wall to show we're strong, but there's no evidence that either of these should harm us. And first off, Arnold shouldn't be, the Terminator shouldn't even be trying to engage this thing in close combat, because, what's he going to do?
Right.
And then the T-1000 should just know, this is where I hit a T-800 to shut it off.
You would think. And again, I mentioned this while we were watching it, but there should be some obvious different... there should be checks and balances within the power levels of these two things. Because one is liquid metal and able to turn itself into any, bladed weapon, able to replicate anyone's face or body, or, turn itself into things. Whereas you would think the other one, having an actual, skeleton with pistons and whatever, would be more physically dominating. One's more physically powerful, but one's more adept fighter.
But this is also where you run into the eternal problem of the shapeshifter should be way more powerful than you are prepared to write for. Mm-hmm. Because seconds into this movie, that T-1000 should have ripped Arnold apart like he did those elevator doors. Mm-hmm. And that should have been the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he's not physically powerful enough to do that, because it's not that hard to pull elevator doors apart.
Well, regardless, like, we're having a tussle. You've grappled me and thrown me against the wall. I'm suddenly 90 spikes going through every vital part of your body.
That would be
it's
Joe done.
Full schematic of the T-800 and know where its weak points are.
Yeah.
But either, or he would do some shit like, I'm just going to blurb around you as a blob and, I'm going to seep into you and...
Or, I'm grappling you. Oh, by the way, my leg just turned into a tentacle that shot through Edward Furlong's face.
Yeah.
I'm done here. See you later.
For whatever reason, the T-1000, while it's shown it can move very fast, it can't when it's time to do anything important.
Yeah.
So... John runs forward, he gets on his little dirt bike, leaves fucking whatever that mullet kid. He's just stuck at the mall.
Yeah.
He's out of the movie.
That. Yeah, he's having a good time. He's still got like $200 to play at the arcade. Whatever.
Cop didn't want me.
Save $20 for bus home. You're fine.
Yeah. So, John's driving again through the LA River, and we get our first major car chase because T-1000 here, he just takes over this big rig tow truck thing.
Yeah, he steals a Nemesis Prime, like Johnny said.
Mm-hmm.
And just jumps it off of a bridge. Somehow it's fine.
Yeah, it wouldn't immediately just face plant off of that bridge.
Yeah, and the way it lands, it's like that front axle's gone. Like there's that amount of weight. Like it's just not made for that. But either way, it's
and that
going.
Also, as Rob said, that probably should have gone ass over tea kettle and just been like upside down. But it's a movie.
Either way, it is all like herky jerky through the river, just crashing into everything. And the T-1000 isn't driving it the best. And then Arnold sees this and he's like, "Oh, I gotta come in here and help this kid." So he's like, "I'm gonna." Cut to someone who's clearly not me taking this motorcycle off of a sweet slow motion jump. Yeah. And we're going to do it in such a way that it's clearly showing my face. That's not me doing this jump.
All right. This is really starting to bother me.
What's that?
This Hershey bar.
Oh.
What? So they, like I said, they highlighted the she, but not the her. But it says celebrate. So now it says celebrate she when it could say celebrate her.
Well, you also run into the problem if you highlight the she and the her, then it would be Hirsch and
do different colors.
Yeah, do different colors.
Yeah, but then
or don't highlight the she, just highlight the her. So it's celebrate her.
Then if you also want to get into that, like are the ladies happy with the she being pink because isn't that like stereotypical and insulting? I don't know.
Just don't put anything on there. Just sell a chocolate bar.
Well, again, that's the thing. It's all about selling the chocolate bar because there's just fucking nothing about that celebrates women.
No. So you just say, it's really good for s'mores, and that's it. Anyway, you were saying.
Next month's going to be Hershey's.
Yeah, but that's the
bitches
problem.
Love chocolate.
They've done that for 50 years, and I can't sell that. That sells X amount of bars, but they need to sell 10 times that because people are greedy fucking shits. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, also, this gets into the whole thing of...
Speaking of women, T-1000 can't drive.
Jesus. This also explains why you have a problem with the bar. But this also is my problem where, yes, you're probably right about that truck and, whatever. And I'm trying to look past that for the movie. But that Harley never should have survived that. Because that would have been a hard fall for a Harley with anyone on it.
Yeah.
But a metal man that's supposed to be like 2 tons of weight or whatever he is, I forget. But like that would have fucked that thing up.
Well, you only saw it at a slight angle. You didn't see the other side where his piston dick came down and like acted as a pogo stick on the ground.
Oh,
broke the fall a little bit.
I missed that part. I'm sorry. Apologize. That's what the sparks were.
That's what the sparks were.
Okay. Yeah. I understand now.
That was him coming at the force of the fall.
So Arnold drives up and just yoinks John Connor off his little dirt bike, which gets crushed under the big old tow truck.
As it should.
And then the truck just decapitates itself on this low bridge, and now it's a convertible. And well, I think Arnold just shoots.
He shoots a tire out.
He shoots a tire out, and it crashes.
And goes under another bridge.
So now
divider.
We see, which at the time was legitimately amazing effects of this liquid metal man just walks out from the fire, turns back into Robert Patrick.
It is still pretty good.
Yeah.
It definitely nowadays has more vibes of that what is it, Walking to the Store?
Yeah.
You ever seen that where it's an animated guy and he's freaking out. But while it looks kind of like that, they intentionally styled it in a way that still makes it hold up a bit. Like, it's clearly an effect. You're not believing this by any means, but it is still good.
This is
it's like Superman flying. Like, you no longer believe it, but
this is BJP, so there's that.
BJP
before Jurassic Park.
Oh, man.
It is. That's a good benchmark for special effects.
Yeah, I would say.
But even that one, as much as I love Jurassic Park, you watch that scene where the Gallimimuses are running. It does not.
Yeah, so
quite work the way it used to.
No, but I mean that's merely an issue of they just didn't have as many polygons and stuff to work.
Oh yeah,
with,
and that's the same here.
They're still blended really well. Look, the Gallimimus scene not so much, and even the Brachiosaurus you can kind of tell is a little bit like has that kind of same look as all the monsters in the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
But
well, that's the thing. It's the CGI. CGI ages very poorly, very quickly, but in both this and Jurassic Park, it is used in, when necessary, so it works. It still kind of works out.
Well, and they made an effort to blend it into the background and get the lighting correct and all that other stuff. So.
Well, yeah, there's also, money and effort put behind it, but that's a whole other can of worms.
One other thing we should point out with the T-1000, basically whenever you shoot him, you just put a hole in him, and then he just kind of has to spend a second to reconstitute himself. So he's effectively shoot-proof, but that does not stop people from shooting him.
The whole time.
That's really their only course of option is to try and slow him down with shooting.
Yeah, it's like
but it's not working.
It's like that Arnold movie where he's fighting the devil, and literally his solution, like all the time, he's just shooting the devil, and the devil's like, "I'm the devil."
Yeah, it's like shooting Superman. Like, is this working?
Well, but
but
at least
about now.
It does slow down the T-1000.
Like he has to spend a couple seconds to, shrug it off.
Yeah,
not with the handgun, but when Arnold breaks out the shotgun, it slows him down.
Well, yeah, the bigger the bullet, the more damage you can do to him, the better it works. But
all right, so long story short, though, like John and Arnold, they talk Terminator for a while, find out, the Terminator's been sent by John Connor in the future to protect the younger version of himself. And he's been reprogrammed. And then John's like, okay, shit, my mom was right the whole time. We have to go get her. And the Terminator's like, we're not going to do that. And then he basically figures out that the Terminator has to do whatever he says, including beating the shit out of some like Zubaz-clad tough guys.
But yeah, he's a little shit because he's fighting with the Terminator. So he calls for help. Yep. And then when they come over, he's like, all right, fuck these guys up. I'm like, you piece of crap.
Yeah. You talking to moi?
Yeah. You call moi a dipshit?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Fuck you.
But now I'm going to call you a Miss Piggy dipshit.
Yeah.
And now we have to teach Arnold why it's not okay to kill people.
Right.
So he has to promise he's not going to kill because it's a PG-13.
No, this is rated R.
Oh, well, he's trying to make it a PG-13.
Yes.
Except for all the F-bombs.
Yeah, he's starting to set the way for the PG-13 movies like this, which fuck him for that.
So
that's the other thing. The next movie, I'll be sent back in time to stop him from turning R-rated movies into PG movies. Fuck
that would be a good one. So then he calls his mom, uses the old "what's the dog's name" trick. The dog's name. So Arnold is using John Connor's voice. He's asking how Wolfie is. Turns out Mom is a T-1000.
I always knew it.
Stabs Todd.
It's also where I don't know if we ever got to post that. I wanted to post that meme when we did the Transformer movie where he calls in. He's like, who killed Optimus Prime? And she says, Megatron. He's like, your mom's already dead.
So
we all know it's Rodimus.
What I would have liked to have seen, because you don't see where Janelle's body actually is, and the dog's barking like crazy. So I was like to think that like Janelle was out there like fed to the dog or something. But yeah, you don't see what happened. But basically, the T-1000 goes out there, kills the dog, and finds out the dog's name is Max. He's like, I fucked up. So he's like, well, what can I do now? I guess I have to go after Sarah Connor. So
just to throw in, I think the dog was just barking because, well, again, continuity might not mean shit anymore, but it was established that
that's right. Yeah,
Terminators
the dogs
cannot
can smell
fool dogs. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. I'm sure, fucking Mercury Man over here does not smell at all like Janelle.
He does smell like Chanel, number 5.
He's just made out of cologne.
Well, he just goes to Macy's a lot. It's
Yeah.
weird.
I thought he was just
It's one of those guys
Sun.
that every day comes by and asks for a free sample.
Yeah.
He's like, can I just get a quick squirt?
So,
Squirt.
Squirt in my face?
we at this point we go to the institution that everyone's headed to, and some cops come there and they're like, "Hey, Sarah, this guy, we saw him in the mall. Look, he's exactly the same guy." Like, literally exactly the same guy as the guy that killed 17 cops in this police station.
Also, tell us again about this robot Terminator
Yeah.
that everyone says you're crazy for.
Yeah.
Killed 17 cops.
Yeah.
What about this? What are you, crazy? You're a crazy person?
Yeah, for that matter, yeah, just like hey, you're in here because you've been deemed insane, but here's a guy who might trigger you. We want to ask about him.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Here's this guy that killed 17 cops in a police station years ago.
Hmm.
Hasn't aged a day.
And the love of your life killed
Looks
him, too.
great. Yeah.
Also,
looks great.
you said he was unstoppable. He seems to be unstoppable. Still don't believe you, but we want to know more about
That's right.
it.
Tell us more.
So they're like, oh, fuck this. She's out of it. And then the psychologist, forgets to mention that he also just drugged the shit out of her.
Yeah. Well.
But she yoinks a paperclip, and a paperclip will just fuck everything up in
Solve your day.
the wrong hands.
Yeah.
So the orderly here takes her back to to her room, straps her down, gives her a good licking just for the hell of it.
She keeps on ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
As I said while watching, it's just like, oh, right, just so we don't feel, or the audience doesn't feel bad later when you kick my ass getting out of here.
Right.
But I mean, she's like, whatever, many, many more men have done many, many creepier
that's
things
right.
to me than this.
Right.
So,
Usually I paid them too.
yeah, this ain't anything.
But he's just like, James told me to do this.
Just told me not to leave any monkey bites.
So
That's right.
she uses the paperclip, gets out of her restraints, picks the lock, goes into the mop closet, gets a mop handle, and just beats the fuck out of this dude. Gives him a few extra shots, for good measure, probably for licking.
Yeah.
Takes his nightstick, takes his keys, and she's off. And Linda Hamilton's pretty badass here.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty scary lady.
Oh, yeah.
She beats the fuck out of some other people, takes a syringe, fills it up with some sort of detergent, and just shoves it in the psychologist's neck, and is using him as a hostage now.
Yeah, doesn't fully shove it in there.
No,
it does
it's
go
in there,
yeah,
but
it just doesn't hit the
she-
plunger, right?
Yep. So uses him to get through another security checkpoint. But this other asshole orderly, he was hiding for the side, and he comes over and tackles her, and she broke the psychologist's arm too.
Yeah.
And they basically she gets away from that, but they're all chasing her, and then
They pin her down
Yeah.
when suddenly her old pal shows up.
and this is a legit cool shot when the elevator opens and the Terminator walks out, and you see just on her face like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
it's time for me to die. And
As the fact that they don't all recognize this, or at least psychologists, isn't like, I'm shitting myself.
yeah, so I understand
Cops
the
were here
orderlies are
2
like,
hours ago.
we
Talk
ha-
about this guy.
yeah, we have to pin her down. The orderlies are all looking right at her, but the
Yeah.
psychologist should at least be like, oh, that's that man that killed 17 cops.
Yeah.
He appears to have a shotgun.
Yeah. I still don't believe you that he's from the future just yet,
Yeah.
but he is clearly a danger.
Yeah. And, after that other woman just elbows him right in the nose, and he gives zero fucks and, pushes her across the room with, a fuss road.
And she attacked him with a busted arm. am I just imagining it? She had a cast on that arm that she hit him with.
I think on a wrist.
On her wrist? It looks like it went all the way.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
Either way, at this point, the psychologist should be like, oh. But to make it worse, Liquid Metal Man shows up and just walks through the bars.
Yeah.
And that's, I can't remember because they don't exist, other movies, but I really hope at this point he is no longer questioning how accurate she is in her talking, because a man just passed through bars, solid bars.
But is he in the sequels?
Yeah, of course he is.
Oh, so he's like the Donald Pleasance of this?
Oh yeah, he might be in every Terminator. I don't remember.
Wow, really? The doctor guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
he hangs on for way too long, I'll say that.
In this movie, this is a missed opportunity, because they're these two robots shoot each other. Liquid Metal Man heals. There's shit with the elevator. All this happens right in front of the doctor. And I would have just liked to have seen him just have some kind of reaction, maybe just open up a cell, just close the door. You just see his face looking out there.
Or just push that plunger,
I was just thinking,
plunger a Drano into his neck.
Goodbye.
Just everything this woman's been saying this whole time is true. Holy crap.
Yeah, I could argue about the murderer dude who hasn't aged in 13 years or whatever it's been, but the guy passing through solid metal, that's a rough one.
Yeah, well, both of them shot each other multiple times.
Well, that too, yes.
Yeah, even if you don't have time travelers, at the very least, you've got a Myers or Voorhees.
Yeah. Although that does not seem to stop anyone. There's so many people that are like, I'm going to fire a full clip at you, and then I'll just load up and do it again, even though it's clearly not doing anything.
So they get out of this place, and we get car chase number 2, which is really just a cop car and Robert Patrick running after it.
I like this one though.
Yeah, this one's pretty nice. He uses hook hands, gets on the car, is climbing up there, and Arnold's like, "Hey, I got a shotgun. It's in your face." And boom, blast him off the car. Smartly, John Connor takes the little piece of him that's left and throws that away. That would have been interesting though, maybe if he did keep it and we have a little T-1000 running around or something. We did miss a kind of funny one-liner. When they show up to the gate of the institution, Arnold pulls a gun out on the guard and just kneecaps him. And John Connor's like, "What are you doing? You said you wouldn't kill anyone." And he's like, "He will live."
I kind of wish he did to John Connor as well.
Yeah. Maybe just dislocate his jaw at least, or yank it off of him. Maybe just crush it.
That reminds me, in the future, you have a scar across your face from this.
All right, so now Sarah just yells at John, "You should have came for me. I was getting my ass kicked on my own. I can take care of myself." And then John Connor cries, and Arnold's like, "What's wrong with your eyes?" And Sarah's like, "I'll give him something to cry about."
That's right. He's a little bitch. That's what's wrong with his eyes.
And so now Cop 1000 just walks up to another cop. It's like, "Hey, that's a nice motorcycle."
And mine.
Yeah, by my actions, it is now mine.
Mm-hmm.
And they hide in some random, closed garage. They treat each other's wounds. They pull bullets out of each other. And then it's just time for some brain surgery. And I do not remember this scene.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
So, okay. Let's break this down. So,
he's a learning computer.
He's a learning computer, but he can't learn because Cyberdyne shuts off his learning capabilities when he's on a mission.
Mm-hmm. Sort of, yeah. Basically, there's a firewall, so he can't look at porn when
he doesn't let him think for himself while he's on a mission.
Exactly.
So he's like, "You have to reset my system."
Yes.
Now, so they do this by simply unplugging his main chip and plugging it back in.
See, I honestly thought they were going to flick a switch on it like an SD card. Change it from read only.
He was set to evil the whole time.
Yeah. That would have made more sense than what happens.
So they reboot him. They give him a factory reset.
Well, first Sarah's got to go all Ripley on him and be like, let's just fucking
kill
him now. I don't
Yeah.
trust these robots.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
John's like, no. Trust my leadership, Mom.
Trust my leadership. I know I've been nothing but a little shitheel in my entire life. I've done nothing worthwhile.
But to be fair, he's largely a little shitheel because she's been telling him he's going to be a great leader his entire life.
Yeah.
But she won't even listen to him.
Pretty much
so.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Well.
Well, we don't know that yet. We know that part's happened, but there's a scene later where he kind of explains his worldview that it makes more sense. But
here's my
but
question.
she does say here,
Yeah.
or he does say, like, how can I get others to listen to me if you won't?
Mhm.
But if they give him a factory reset,
Yep.
wouldn't he forget all of the reprogramming that John Connor
You
Mission
would think.
parameters.
like
Yes.
all of that? Wouldn't that just be gone?
Yeah.
You would think.
I think he would be whatever their default programming is, which is probably just standing there.
Yeah.
Or just killing people.
Yeah.
Just murder people.
Yep.
So-
Full Jason Voorhees mode. Is that like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees? They're just Terminators that were reprogrammed.
Yeah, they're just shitty Terminators.
So I feel bad for him. We just part where he's just like, I'll go on guard, and he just stands in the office, or in like the sales floor of this gas station, and like you see the whole day passes. He's just right there.
It's Terminator. You do that.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Um, So now, they get a new car and they go driving off and they stop at a gas station. But on the way, of course, John has to teach the Terminator 90s talk in what may be the low point of the film.
It was like early 90s talk that didn't even make it to the mid to late 90s. Like, No Problemo, I don't think made it past Alf.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember ever saying No Problemo or hearing anyone say No Problemo outside of the Terminator.
So I would have
Or
liked...
I feel
Ninja
like,
Turtles.
I feel like that must have at least hit Full House.
Yeah, but that's hardly like, hey, you want to say this.
Oh yeah, none of it's cool. None of
No,
it's
that's
cool.
hey, the Olsen twins said it. Isn't that cute?
For a while, people thought that, but
Yeah, but they didn't like
But if,
like
yeah, they did.
yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
they did.
Yeah, they
if
did.
Sarah Connor, like,
You got it.
two
dude.
lines I would have liked her to say in this film. Be like, one, a rule you should know being in 1991 is that you don't learn anything cool to say from a 10-year-old.
Mhm.
And two, are you really sure that it's this kid of mine that goes on to be the great leader?
That's true. Like
we
I still,
give up on him and start over.
I mean, granted, I've had so many hot dogs in my hallway. You think I would have pumped out another liter by now,
Mhm.
but apparently they're all just really good at the.
I'm gonna use protection,
Yeah, maybe,
or maybe I don't know, something about sweaty hobo pants that really.
I get. Yeah, but
Gets
she's just that kind of crazy, you know.
So,
But I will just throw in there though. Friend of the podcast, Eric, not only knows the phrase "cut it out," he knows the hand motions that go with it. So it carried on.
I don't
Full
know that.
House scarred Betty. So anyway,
How rude.
um,
Which would go on to be picked up by Jar Jar Binks.
Anyway,
so I like the weirdness of the scene where we see the Terminator attempting to smile.
yeah,
You see like the programming going, and Arnold does make a great terrible face here.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, I know he's Austrian, but that is what every German looks like when they smile.
wow. But that
Views
is
and opinions of Rob.
that is also what Arnold.
True.
That is also what Arnold looks like when he smiles through Jingle All the Way, and it's just as disturbing.
So Sarah's like, I got an idea. This whole Judgment Day thing.
It's
Maybe
stupid.
we could stop it.
Yeah.
So, hey Terminator, how does Judgment Day happen?
Because I really want to go on a crazy-ass rampage without thinking about it first.
And he's like, well, when a mommy robot and a daddy robot really love each other, they fire nukes at Russia. But basically, we find out this Dyson guy invents this chip, and it leads to not Skynet, Cyberdyne Systems getting a contract that lets them put military chips in like all these things that totally automate the
That's
the
what we got
nuclear
going on
defense
now.
Yeah.
thing. And
But she is basically like, oh, they sent someone back to try and kill John Connor before he was even born, so he couldn't be a problem. How about I do the same?
Yeah.
Not saying it's a smart plan, but I get it.
No, two wrongs make a right.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
so
Because instead of just going to this dude's house with the Terminator and just showing him that you have the Terminator with the same internal structure, the same chip, right from the start, she says, gotta kill.
I will argue, one, every time she's tried to tell anyone about this, she's been deemed crazy, and two, I don't know how well she thought, like, oh, I could just have him rip his arm off, because that probably wasn't in the plans at the time.
She's got some anger issues.
That too.
Yeah.
So they go and just meet with one of her suitors, shall we say.
Yes.
And
shall we say.
And he's like, oh, all those guns you've stashed. Here we go.
Yeah, I can't help you because I have to take care of our child that looks like all three of the Stooges mushed together.
He does. And I love, the editing is weird because, like, it walks up to the Terminator and he just grabs it and he's like, I have a baby.
Yes,
and then no one reacts and that's just gone. Like, we just move on from there. And we're like, wait, what just happened? He just like throw it into space.
It was like Coco's kitten. Yeah, she just puts it up on a high shelf and walks away. Like, yeah, okay. The child is up here now.
So, all right, we meet this Enrique guy. She does have a kick-ass gun stash.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, John Connor's going to need a 20-millimeter Orlikin gun, and a minigun, and an M79 grenade launcher.
If there's Terminators, yeah.
Yeah, the 20-millimeter probably would work. And then we get a little scene where they're taking guns out of the gun stash, and John's talking about, like, hey, how am I supposed to be a normal kid when I know that, I'm going to have this, like, be this great leader, my mom thinks that I am, and we've been in Nicaragua and all these other crazy places my whole life.
He said, Nicaragua.
And
what a little shit.
Terminator's like, dude, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, I don't care. I've not been programmed to give a shit.
Yeah. He still wants to know why humans cry, and John sucks at explaining it.
Yeah. It's like, kid, I was programmed to listen to you, but not to, listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Let's wrap this shit up.
It's like, can you switch me back into read only?
Yeah. Can you just pull my chip out? Yeah. Just do that. Put it back in when I need to fight something.
So meanwhile, Sarah's like looking at the Terminator, like playing high five and grab ass with John Connor. And she's like, oh, this is the best dad for him.
She's like, when John goes to sleep, I will mount this thing.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, we're going to be a family now?
Yeah. I will climb atop this robot and we will be married.
But while she's thinking about, the practicalities of having a Terminator husband / father for John, she dozes off into another one of her PTSD dreams, and basically dreams about how I feel going outside in the summer.
All right, how I feel going outside at all.
Yeah, basically, like, you see children and everything explodes.
It's like, oh, it's noise and harsh light and
all your flesh burns off.
It's burning.
This is definitely how I felt on the drive over here today.
Now, that being said, this scene is legit awesome. Like, it's spooky stuff. Like, when the nuke goes off and, like, they're blowing up all kinds of models and, like, burning the skeletons to cinders. I like the intense heat sort of, like, renders everyone to ash before the shockwave comes by and blows them apart. It looks really cool.
This is, I believe around here, Rob made a comment about you would think if you have this dream every night, it would stop startling you so much, which it could be, but I was also thinking, and maybe it's because I read about, being deemed the most accurate depiction of a nuclear explosion, but it really hit me this time, like, oh yeah, fucking, dude, I don't know if you could ever get used to that shit. Yeah. That is horrific.
So she's like, all right, I'm just going to go kill this Dyson guy. And, John's like, Mom, no. And she's like, you don't know how to drive. And Arnold walks too slow. I'm out of here. It just leaves. Yeah. And they're just like, oh, fuck, okay, I guess. I didn't know that was a thing she could do.
Let's guess where she's going.
Mm-hmm. So it takes them a little while to figure out that she's going to attempt to change the future. And she's going after this Dyson guy.
We got no future.
Wait, she carved no fate into a table.
Yep.
And he determined, there's no fate but what you make it, so we can change this shit.
So she goes to Dyson's house, gets her M16 set in sniper mode, gets her silencer, her scope, and her red dot laser sight. Meanwhile, we get some kind of cool shots of like the remote control truck view driving through the house. And she's got a shot lined up on Dyson, but his kid drives the truck in. And that causes Dyson to move at just the right moment where she instead shoots his monitor. So then her plan from there is like, all right, single shot missed.
Plan B is full auto.
Switch to full auto and just empty the whole fucking clip into that room.
Yeah, and she's a bit psycho.
Mm-hmm. She reloads, does that again, then comes in close with the 45. And that time she finally actually shoots him. And she's about to murder him when, like, you know, her Dyson's son is like, "Don't kill my dad." And she's like, "Oh, fuck, I'm about to be a murderer."
Yeah, this kid is brave as hell, too.
Yeah.
He's the real hero of the movie, to be honest.
She's like "Now I'm the Terminator."
That's right. The Terminator is
probably should have turned to him and be like, "Can you be the new leader? Because you're not a little shit."
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, like, she's basically, like, collapses kind of crying in the, you know, up against the wall while the family's like, well, she still has a gun. I don't know what to do. And I could have used just maybe like a 30-second just long shot of all of them. Like, what do we do now?
Yeah, like a cut to them like at the dinner table. Yeah. Like his wife has like made her a plate of spaghetti. And they're just...
I'm still thinking about them crouching on the floor. Everybody's crying, just like, I don't know who this crazy lady is or what she wants, but I'm not doing anything till she leaves.
So, the Terminator and John show up, and John's like, "Yeah, just rip your fucking arm off." Like, so, you know, he shows off his cybernetic arm to this Dyson guy, and Dyson's like, "Oh fuck, I recognize that arm." And that's when they're like, "Oh." You know, Sarah's like, "Oh, I probably should have just tried to explain it to him."
Yeah, probably.
Again, though, she wasn't crazy before she went in the nut house. She certainly is now.
But I like this Dyson character. He's like, he takes it and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I see. You know, this is the problem."
Yeah, like, okay, I get it. There's an issue.
We'll stop it. You can't destroy everything.
I don't know why we need to do it tonight when everything's closed and we need to like break in. I mean, tomorrow I can just walk in and take it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can just get rid of it. But whatever. Yeah, right now it's fine.
Can I hear that noise one more time, though?
I don't know if I can reproduce it. Burger or something like that. I guess the problem just being the Terminator cop, whatever we're calling him, is after their ass, and they don't know how much time they have.
Sure.
But yeah, I suppose they probably could have just tried to lay low for a night. But
so their little keeper fucks up like immediately. So they go in and they just like, I guess Dyson doesn't go here very often at night. But he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking my friends up to see the chip." And it's just like, you fucking can't do that.
It's like, hey, security guard Carney Jim Bob, how you doing, bud?
Yeah. Like,
hey, buckaroo.
Not something like, "Hey, you know, my car broke down outside. Could I use the phone?" Something like that. You know,
just let me go upstairs.
Yeah.
This giant man behind me is from the head office or some such.
That's the other thing is like, not even like, I don't know, try and get them a lab coat or something, like make them blend in somehow.
Just put them all under
at least
a big
hide
coat
their
that you wear.
Yeah. At least try and hide their guns.
So, they just basically overwhelm this guy, and they like tie him up in the bathroom. But I guess they just don't know that there would be other security guards on, or don't like look at the security cameras,
which is a little weird, but whatever.
Because this guy gets discovered real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Like the other security guard comes back like immediately.
Mm-hmm. And I like that he opens the bathroom door, sees him in there tied up, and doesn't untie. Like
that floor's gross.
Doesn't cut the tape. He's just like, that. "Oh, he's on the floor. All right, I gotta go over here.
Oh, I still gotta pee. Then I'll get you out."
No, I was saying while watching this, like, I don't know. I think maybe hitting the alarm was the right move because
I'm not even saying
he unties him shortly after.
I'm not even saying it was the wrong move. I'm just saying, like, wouldn't your instinct to immediately be to go over to him?
Not necessarily, because
I would close the door and then open it again.
Okay.
See if did I actually just see that?
If you're a security guard, my first thought might be, I'm going to hit the alarms and get whatever backup we can. Then I'll release this guy, rather than it be like, I'm going to try and release this guy. Maybe I'll get tackled and I'll end up right with him, Because
I'd argue that you're more likely to get tackled if it's just you running to the counter trying to set up.
Yeah, but you also don't know if you go over to try and untie him and two people pop out of the stalls and be like,
the toilets.
Yeah, well,
A couple of gremlins pop
yeah.
up.
Who does number 2 work for?
So, either way, now the plan's already fucked because now all Dyson security clearance doesn't work because the alarm's been triggered. So
Right.
Arnold's like, well, my M79 grenade launcher works, and he just blows holes in the wall to get where he needs to go.
But Eddie Turdlong is like, hey, I know you just said that no codes are working because it's in shutdown, but I'm going to find the code.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
But it does.
But, yeah.
Well, because
I'm John fucking Connor.
Yeah.
That's also one you could argue there's probably a master code of some kind that will still work. Because otherwise, how do you shut it down?
How would it find the master code? I don't know.
How does it find any? I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know, fucking cycles through.
We'd have to talk to
Whatever.
Mark about this one, and he'd say way too many words for us to know.
He would say, it's stupid. It's a movie.
Yeah.
Where's the cheese at?
Yeah, the same thing with the pin before on the ATM. Whose pin was it? Whose card does it go to? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
So
shit works.
either way, this other security card, he gets on
into
the
his
phone.
own account.
Yeah,
I forgot my pin years
I can
ago.
never remember my pin.
I could use one of those.
So
It's called a notebook.
this security guard, he does like a Gary Oldman. He's on the phone. He's like, "Get everyone!"
Yeah.
And so all the cops show up with a helicopter, and Arnold's like, "I'll take care of the cops." And he's like, "Don't kill anyone." He's like, "Trust me."
And then does a sideshow Bob.
So he busts out a minigun and just goes psycho on these cops.
Yeah. What's the best way not to kill anyone? With a minigun.
That's right.
Yeah,
Just explode the vehicles around them.
I won't hurt anybody.
you fire it at their feet.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Moving.
I mean, if anything, we know that miniguns are the most accurate weapon on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you, he's a robot. His accuracy is probably on point.
His
Well,
recoil control would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
But still, you probably can't anticipate everybody's movements and such. And shrapnel alone is going to cause a lot of damage. It's just a bad move.
Well, yeah.
Whatever.
Another complaint with this though is this was at a time when I guess Hollywood decided that the minigun doesn't sound cool, so they have to make it still sound like a machine gun. But miniguns are basically a capital B and then just hold the R key down. They just go and tons of bullets fire.
Which is fun. I don't think it didn't seem like it was that far off.
It was
to me. It didn't sound
it felt like a pew pew to me. And
it did not sound pew pew to me. But so Predator got it pretty right.
Oh,
Predator,
Predator
was
right
better.
on.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I think it's more we're focusing on the sound of the firing bullets and just completely cutting out the engine that makes the thing spin, which usually is way louder, so it just sounds more like a chainsaw or something.
I mean, and it's firing, many, many, many bullets a second, so you can't pick out individual booms anymore. So
Maybe it's just because I'm losing my hearing.
afterward, after he uses up all the minigun ammo, he's like, let's just put some grenades in the cop cars.
Yeah, fine.
That's not going to hit anyone with shrapnel.
Nope.
Also, he does all this because he's taking care of the cops, in quotations, and he can't kill them. But it's I'm pretty sure you just made them more aggressive, and that's why they bust in shortly after.
Well, I will say these cops have some balls. Because, hey, I have a giant machine gun and a grenade launcher. I just killed all your cop cars. And their immediate response is it's attack right now. Perfect.
Well, I think that makes sense. I mean, yeah, it's ballsy, but
we know he's out of ammo for the minigun.
Yeah, he comes in, he fires, he fucks all this stuff up, and then he just walks back in. I'd be like, well, now's our chance to get closer, because obviously staying out here is not safe anymore.
I'd be like, you know what? you can do that. I'll be over here.
Well, yeah, but that's what cops are supposed to do
with my little MP5. It's not gonna make a difference.
Plus, it's Dean Norris. Fucking,
So
that's right. It should have been Chuck Norris.
So he killed all the cop cars, but 0 casualties. Right. So now the cops bust in. They immediately storm the lab and just shoot the shit out of Dyson. And Sarah's kind of pinned down. She's doing a Die Hard running while the glass is breaking, and she's trapped in a clean room. So Arnold's like, oh yeah, robot strength, smash through wall, pull her out, and I'll M79 down another wall, and we're out of here. But poor Dyson, he's sitting there and he's like, I don't know how much longer I could hold this detonator up. And the cop, all you have to do is just get the detonator, away from him.
You think that they would, he's down, so you immediately, detain him.
I don't know how much longer I could hold this. Long enough for me to grab it from you.
Yeah, all you have to just grab his fist and squeeze. Even if he dies there, you're still, you're holding the bomb.
Well, he didn't even have the bomb. He had a piece of his, replica chip thing, and, his arm was held over the switch. For the bomb. It's all he had to do was move his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, they're run!
But this is also, the whole problem of maybe you don't trust that he's, wouldn't try and drop that faster because you apparently just overlook the fact that technically he's a hostage in this situation and just opened fire on this motherfucker, so...
They shot the shit out of him.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I wouldn't trust he'd be looking at my best interest in mind either.
So, either way, everything explodes. It's a pretty cool explosion.
Yep.
So now... The Terminator, Sarah, and John, they go down to the lobby, and the police are like, here's some tear gas. And Arnold's like, I don't care about that.
Here's some bullets in your knees.
Yeah, he just comes walking out while they unload clip after clip into him. And they're just like, you know what we need to do? Shoot more bullets.
Yeah, again, nobody's like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Why is this not working?
And he just casually walks up to each dude and just shoots him in the kneecap till he takes the grenade launcher and shoots the last couple in the ass with some gas grenades.
They'll live. I've completely crippled their livelihoods.
Yeah.
They will never poop correctly
They will never poop correctly. They can't hold down jobs.
Yeah, they will die slowly when welfare drops them eventually.
Sure. At least one of them has a C battery in his ass.
That's right. A couple of these will get probably really bad infections, lose their legs.
He uses the I'll be back line, and he does come back crashing into the lab with the SWAT van.
Which also, just a quick thing here with that, if any other movies were to exist after this, they should take note of using both the Come With Me If You Want to Live and I'll Be Back at a good moment, so it's a cute little nod without being ridiculous or, putting a big spotlight on it or doing something stupid. Just saying.
So I feel bad also for the dudes. He just fires this the tear gas launcher, and then he just walks up to people and just starts taking their masks.
Yeah. I like the one guy who's just hold this, gives him the launcher, takes his mask off, punches him, and takes the gun back.
So, yeah, he crashes in there with the SWAT van, and the helicopter, who's like, I've been useless through this entire affair, catches a T-1000 that he just showed up, and he rode his motorcycle through the whole lab. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Raising Arizona style. And then he just hits a sweet jump and grabs onto the helicopter, tells the guy to get out, and the guy just I will jump to my death rather than deal with Liquid Metal Man who just headbutted his way.
To be fair, I probably would too.
Yeah. No, I'll take my chances.
It's either jump or get pushed out, I guess. I get to decide where I land in this
yeah. I don't know where that guy's going with my helicopter, but it's going to be terrible.
Yeah. I don't care.
It's also one where I give them credit for properly utilizing shape-shifting ability, because he does headbutts the window, gets one little hole in it, and then I'm right through it. He's not fighting to get the door open or some nonsense.
Also, I turned my dick into another arm.
Yes.
Able to fly the helicopter and shoot.
And so there's a big kerfuffle with this scene, because it's said that this is actually a film flub.
Yes.
And that it's like a prop guy's arm controlling the helicopter while he's doing whatever. But he's not actually flying a real helicopter, right?
Yeah.
In this scene?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it's just meant to be a third arm that he grew to control the plane.
Yeah, I don't see why he'd be...
It's very obvious. The colors match the rest of the clothing he's wearing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hidden at all.
I don't see why they'd be bothering to fly the helicopter while they're doing close-up shots of him shooting out the helicopter.
That is a good point, but...
It seems intentional.
I
also,
don't know
if you guys can hear the fireworks in the background.
That's just, just two robots having a gun battle.
It is two robots having a sex battle. Gun battle.
Gun sex battle.
Yeah, it's the same to them.
Sex sounds like a Stone Temple Pilots.
Love gun battle.
Yeah, like Equilibrium brought you gun kata. I bring you gungasm.
So,
anyway.
Now we get car chase number 3, which is the police helicopter versus the SWAT van. And you get a lot of Linda Hamilton firing a assault rifle out the back of the SWAT van at a helicopter that's like right fucking there.
Yeah.
Combined with Robert Patrick firing an MP5 through the hole in the window at the SWAT van for like a while.
Yeah.
And then Sarah gets shot, and Arnold's just like, oh, hit the brakes, and the helicopter crashes into the van in a rather not spectacular crash. Like,
well,
helicopters crash violent as hell.
Yeah.
There's like giant spinning blades everywhere.
And if there's anything that's guaranteed to explode, like, it's a helicopter.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't really. It's just kind of...
Well, because, they had to sell that Linda Hamilton survived in the back of it.
Yeah.
So they had to be like, oh, okay.
It's also possible that since they actually flew a helicopter through that, like, underpass or whatever, that maybe they were like, we've done enough dangerous shit today. Let's not try and do a better helicopter crash.
But, like, how long do you think it would have taken Linda Hamilton with that gun to actually shoot that helicopter down?
Well, that's the other thing I'm wondering. There's a spotlight right in her eyes, but, like, the helicopter's right there.
And you'd assume that she would have spent at least some time while she was getting a train run on her, that she would have gotten some, firing practice.
Oh, she definitely has fire,
Yeah.
right? She is, she's good at aim.
Yeah, so it's like...
So a lot of the helicopter, a lot of its survivability actually comes from, like, the bullets can usually just pass right through whole sections of it, and as long as they don't hit people, they're not doing anything important. But, like, anything hitting the engine, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine that's also a lot of just, hit him in the right spot, and if he loses control, with that, when you're that low, it won't take much.
Yeah, if you put enough bullets into the nose, the controls just aren't going to work anymore.
Yeah.
Either way, so this chase is over. The SWAT van crashes. Sarah's shot in the leg. They now steal this shitty ass house truck thing. I don't know what kind of business this was, but it looked like it just had a bed in back. Like, that might have been this man's house they took.
I think this was Wolverine's truck from the first X-Men movie.
Michael Bean's house.
Yeah. Or Michael Bean's house. Might have been.
And then, what you call it? The T-1000's like, I'm just going to take this fucking 18-wheeler full of liquid nitrogen. Yeah. This won't bite me in the ass.
No, of course not.
Everything I've driven so far is crashed and blown up.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. So, the chase continues now in a shitty pickup truck and an 18-wheeler. And, a surprise, surprise, both crash. But they crash into a steel foundry. And, liquid nitrogen spills everywhere. The T-1000 gets out, and he's crawling through the liquid nitrogen, and he's, like, losing pieces, and he's freezing up. And Arnold looks at him and is like, hasta la vista, baby, and shoots him, and he shatters.
Mm-hmm. And they go and take each piece and put it in a separate mason jar with a nice tight lid, and the story ends.
So really, like, they should have found a way for the movie to end here, because that's a good way to end this.
Yeah.
This next scene doesn't really... I'm not a huge fan of this fight in the foundry, and I feel like if it just ended there on that one-liner...
Yeah. Because it really is just a bunch of more pushing each other around into things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, again, kind of jumping ahead, but it should have been, he's freezing, limbs are breaking off, Arnold just grabs the main chunk, carries it with him, and is like, we're going in the lava. And that's both of them gone. End of movie. He could still do it, thumbs up, whatever.
Now that being said, these aren't even special effects. Just playing with Mercury is fucking cool. as it like blorps back together. So it's a neat little, like, he reassembles himself once his pieces thaw because they're in a fucking hot foundry, and these idiots just stand there and watch this happen instead of getting a head start. And I'm like, they have enough time to be in another car and be out of there.
I have enough time to be in another country.
Yeah.
No.
So
the minute that one piece starts to melt, I'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah, maybe, while he's still reforming, put another M79 round in him.
Yep.
Yeah, and then run for it.
Put him in a trash bag and run him into the foundry.
Yeah, and Sarah's shot in the leg, right? And you have a fucking Terminator. Like, just grab her and, like, just run.
Yeah.
But nope, they have to hobble. It's all right, because the T-1000, he goes at the speed you want to go at. Mm-hmm. So he's just kind of walking after him.
He likes playing,
Yeah. So...
Yeah, this is again where he seems to lose sight of his mission here.
He knocks the grenade launcher out of Arnold's hand, and they have another tussle where they just push each other into things. And then, at least this time, he's like, oh, I have, like, liquid metal powers. So he uses that to his advantage to, like, get Arnold's arm trapped, and then he just throws it under a heavy-ass gear, and Arnold's stuck there. So he's like, I'm not going to finish you off. I'm just going to walk away.
For reasons.
Go walk after John Connor. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. He does that. He confronts Sarah. Sarah, like, shotguns him once, and then, like, butterfingers the shotgun shells trying to reload. So he's like, I'm going to stab you in the arm with my knifey finger. And I'm going to threaten to knife finger you in the head if you don't call out to John.
And again, I say, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Because just put one through her head and then use her voice, because you've proven you can do that.
Yep.
Also,
what are we doing?
John's a bitch. Just grab her and be like, I will kill your mother.
Yeah.
Come on out.
Yeah. Or just say, John, I know you're a bitch. Come on out.
Yeah. Anyway. So either way, Arnold comes back and he's got like a metal pole, and he swings the metal pole and like bifurcates the T-1000 for a second, but it reforms, takes the pole, beats the shit out of Arnold for like a while, throws him down into like this one area where there's a girder on some chains, and just slams that into Arnold's head a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And then he takes the pole, shoves it through the Terminator, and its power goes out. He's like, oh yeah, I probably should have beaten it to death like a long time ago.
And this is the only plus to this whole fight, and possibly the only reason we have it, which is they're like, there are still all these cool effects we could do. Like him being bifurcated, him... I guess the freezing glitched him out, so he starts like his feet start forming into the floor and sticking and things like that, and so you get some cool effects.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth all this, but could have just done that earlier.
So Arnold wakes up like immediately, and he goes and grabs the grenade launcher. He now only has one arm, and he's got holes in him. He's got all kinds of problems, but now, I guess, because he put his hand through Sarah, he can become her. So he's like, I'm going to become Linda Hamilton's sister. And I'm going to, call out to John. So John comes by, and then real Linda Hamilton comes by with a shotgun and shoots the shit out of him. Blows a bunch of holes in fake Linda Hamilton. And gets him almost to fall into the vat. But she runs out of bullets. And he's like, And then...
Say the magic word.
Yeah, they try to run away. And there's an Arnold coming up a conveyor belt.
Very slowly.
Oh, well, everything goes in slow motion now. He has to use his bullet time to make sure the shot's right.
Right. He's got to wait for the reticle to go over him and lock on. And
yeah, isn't this a great dramatic moment as I slowly ride the kiddie ride up to you guys?
But this is a legitimately cool death, because he fires M79 right into the T-1000, and the T-1000's like, oh, it's just a hole in my chest, and then
it's like, let me show you my O face.
Yeah. And he's turned into like a Beetlejuice kind of monster.
Oh yeah,
sort of.
It's all kind of mangled.
He's got legs, and like you can see where the other body parts are supposed to be, but they're not there anymore. And he's just like, you know what, I'll just die, and just falls into
he just gives up.
The molten metal.
That's enough.
And for whatever reason, suddenly he's all like, pain, fear, I'm in the metal, I have emotions now, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I know. It looks like pain, but I wonder if that's just his, like, survival. And it's like, I have to get out of this to protect my what I
Well,
don't even.
yeah,
It doesn't
more-
have. It
not
doesn't have
even
like a
protect.
chip, right? So I don't.
Well, I don't know. But yeah, probably not even protect, but so much like, I haven't finished the mission, I need to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also glitching out, so who knows? I don't, but whatever. But he screeches like a banshee.
Yeah.
Turns out liquid metal is killed by other liquid metal.
Yep.
So they throw the bionic arm and the chip from the first Terminator in there, and then they're like, okay, Arnold's like, check it out. Don't pay attention to the fact that my arm is stuck in that gear.
I was just going to mention that. Like,
I gotta die. I don't want to be here anymore.
isn't this going to get us right back to where we started?
That was my assumption. I'm like, so the sequels, are they based off of that arm?
I
have never seen any of the sequels.
The only thing I remember Terminator 3, they were just like, Skynet was in the internet all along.
Yeah, some shit like that. I don't remember how or the
Pornhub
why.
the whole time.
It might be. There's a lot over there.
So, either way, he's like, check it out. Just lower me into the liquid metal. I can't jump in. You gotta lower me. John, stop whining. I gotta die. I can't take dealing with you anymore. And he goes down into the metal and gives the thumbs up as he melts.
Hey.
Like you do.
Mm-hmm. And then we just cut to a scene of the open road and Linda Hamilton musing on, if a robot can learn the value of human life, then maybe humans can. Fat chance.
So far, yeah, hasn't checked out. Has not panned out so far.
So
still time, yes.
Well, there's 7 years according to this film.
Yeah, probably.
That sounds about right.
Less according to everything else.
Yeah, the way we're heading, I'll be surprised if we make 7 more years. So that ends the movie right there. Dun, 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 dun. Tony, get your phone.
Yeah, the D20 of fate is in that drawer there. I don't know what that motion was you were doing.
That was the pause. We need to get set up.
Oh, there it is. I knew I had a T-1000 Mega Constructs figure around here somewhere.
Is that what you were doing this whole fucking time?
Yeah, I was looking for it.
Jesus.
All right, Tony, what does Rotten Tomatoes have to say?
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
What does Molten Robots have to say?
What does Rotten Sequels have to say?
RottenTomatoes.com. Critics gave this a score of 93%. Audience gave this a score of 95%.
Mm-hmm.
That's their thoughts and opinions. What about you and yours, Rob?
I mean, it's a fine action movie. Like, I'm not as enamored with this as a lot of other people are. Because, I mean, if I'm being totally honest, the Terminator series just, isn't really my cuppa. But yeah, it's a fine action film. We watched the director's cut, which is way too long. But the regular version is fine. Probably still a little too long, but yeah, it's totally fine.
It's not a Peter Jackson.
I enjoyed it. I would probably give it an 80.
Mm-hmm.
Joe.
Yeah, I was going to give it the B as well. I don't know why I wasn't I didn't really like this movie when I saw it when I was 11. I don't know why I had as many bad memories about it as I do. Because I thought I remembered it being all car chases and explosions and an annoying kid and then some bad fights between two robots.
Oh, you were thinking of the first Transformers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Turns out that's what I was thinking.
Yep.
So, I mean, this movie has a lot more than that. And, for the most part, it's good. The kid sucks and, he's not acted well. He's not written well. I really would have liked it if this was when John Connor was 15 or 16 or something, where we could have had someone, we could have gotten an adult that looks young to play him and it would have been fine.
So you want Christian Bale?
I'll even take Christian Bale.
Okay.
No, I will not take Christian Bale.
Yelling at lighting guys.
Oh, good for you. Anyway, so the kid's a problem. I don't really like the T-1000. It's just, it doesn't do it for me. The effects were cool. But it's still it's a awesome blockbuster. It's actually a summer blockbuster that I would enjoy. So yeah, I think 80, 85. Linda Hamilton's an absolute badass in this. Arnold does well.
Mm-hmm.
The Dyson character is really good. So overall, like the movie's good.
Pretty much everybody except Eddie Furlong.
Yeah. It just, unfortunately, like, when your main character sucks to the degree that young John Connor does.
Yeah. No, sorry.
It's, it's a big problem. So I can't give it, between that and the robot fights, I didn't really get anything out of that. It seemed to me like the T-1000 is just too weird of a concept for it to be that exciting. And well, the robot in Terminator 3, like, doesn't make sense in the sense that you already have the T-1000, so, like, this thing seems like a step back from that. But that one I liked where it was like, it was a solid robot chassis that had, like, liquid metal skin that could change things around, but it was still like a robot under there, and it made more sense, and it made their fights, I think. Yeah. I don't think the fights made a lot of sense, but I think I could, the base of it made more sense to me, if that makes sense. I'm saying makes sense too much.
I feel like it would have been better if there was like a defined rule set outside of just can't become complex machines. Like, if it like needed to recharge or just wasn't as physically strong, or
it should be fucked up by magnets.
It should be fucked up by magnets, or if it had like
try magnets. To be fair.
Yeah.
If it maybe had to have like a core inside, like even if it's a small.
Yeah, like there's a chip somewhere in there.
It's got to be a chip somewhere in there.
Yeah. Kind of like the thing from fucking Futurosity or whatever that stupid movie was we watched. Virtuosity.
Oh, yeah, you're also just creating the protoforms for the Transformers.
I mean,
but
sure, just as good CGI.
Hey, well, yeah. Oh, and you missed the full Beast Wars moment where Arnold jumps out of that liquid metal truck. But yeah, I will try not to spend too much time on this because I agree with all you guys. I would recommend it. It's a good action movie. It's not the greatest. It has its faults, but it's still entertaining, if a little long. Even with Eddie Furlong, like, I don't think it's necessarily him being a bad actor. I think it's just poorly written.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody could have saved that part.
So, yeah, like, even that...
He didn't help.
Yeah, maybe. That's, again, I don't know how much the blame's on him or on the writing. But either way, yeah, overall, good movie, entertaining, worth a watch. So, recommend. So, cool. I think we all say for this episode, recommend Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Sure.
Much like the Aliens movies, watch the first one, watch the second one, then stop.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much any franchise. Well,
just about. Predator,
most franchises.
No, because Predator, there's at least Predators.
Yeah, I stand by Predators. I know a lot of people don't enjoy it, but I think it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not. Doesn't mean it applies to everything, but generally speaking,
yeah.
Like Batman Returns, good. That maybe
I mean, RoboCop, just stop.
Yeah,
don't even go to
past
2.
one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Nolan's Batmans, you can probably watch all 3, but take it as your own risk, I guess. Anyway,
That's what the sound off.
What else do we have for the people, Rob?
Well, I think it's time to roll our D20 of fate.
Whose turn is it?
Whose turn is it? Who rolled this?
I believe this is me.
So me then?
You did good, Tony.
Yes.
Rob's gonna
Brian's still at the moment.
this up.
Okay, yes, I am gonna make everyone unhappy with me.
Somewhere in the past to possibly stuff. Yeah, which this I will say, Eddie Furlong. I shithill kid of the 90s, kid power crap. What was the style of the time? But also, if I find out this is the movie that started that trend, again, I'm sending Brian back in time to kill him to stop this shit.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, the way we pick what movie we're going to watch next is that we roll a 20-sided die, and we have a master list of films that I'm going to roll right now.
Oh, shit.
Is that a 1?
That's a 1.
That's a 1.
So, let's explain the critical failure rules.
What Transformer are we going to be watching now?
Well, hold on. Are those on?
Oh, they absolutely are.
Oh, sure they are.
Oh, fuck. Wait. Yeah, wait. Two definitely is.
Wait, don't we have to roll the failure list?
No. You get to pick.
Fuck, why? Why do we allow this?
So there's a 10% chance whenever Rob touches the die that we're getting a Transformer.
Yeah, what the? We're just gonna have John come in here, roll all the 20s. Rob comes in, rolls all the 1s. So we keep watching with shit like a Highlander shit and Transformer movies.
If Rob rolls a 20, we're watching Transformers too.
Just fuck yeah, but
the only thing is he's running out. But there's still
so much crap.
Yeah, there is.
Let's see. Let's look at the critical failure here.
I don't want to.
There's. Wow. American Ninja's on there? We've already done Superman 4.
Didn't we already do American Ninja? Or we did?
Yes.
It's 4. That's true.
Yeah, full transparency. I've tried my best to keep on top of the master list. I have not paid attention to the failure list. So.
Wow, there's a lot more on here than I thought.
Did that say Kindergarten Ninja?
We already did Batman and Robin, didn't we?
Yep.
Didn't we already do 98 Godzilla?
We did.
Okay.
God, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I'm sure the people at home are loving hearing me and Joe make odd comments. They can't hear shit you're saying.
Well, these are movies they're probably excited about us talking about.
The ones we've already done? The ones they probably can't even hear Rob list off, but only hear us saying yes to?
Question.
Yeah.
If you had to choose between Transformers Revenge of the Fallen and Dragon Ball Evolution.
I'm consuming the cyanide pill now.
I was gonna say I'll take that syringe of liquid Drano or whatever the fuck it was.
That's a tough fucking choice.
Not for me. I'll take that Drano every time.
No. But I mean, like, we have
I know.
to pick one of these two. Like, that is not easy.
Really?
You took too long. It's Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it either, but you know what?
Why?
It's like a Band-Aid.
This is number 2, right?
This is number 2.
So this is the worst one.
In my opinion, this is the worst one.
Okay.
This is the most incoherent one. This is the one that was done in the midst of the writer's strike.
Yep.
Where Michael Bay just kind of made it up as he went along.
Yeah, this has the racist robots and the Devastator scrotum.
Yep.
And the big farting jet robot.
And John Turturro whips his pants off.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the first one?
I think we get to see.
That's a couple movies.
Well, but this one, I think he's in a thong when he
Yeah,
does
I
it.
believe
Okay.
so.
All right.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't feel good about this.
Yeah.
Listen, it was the D20 of fate.
No. The D20 of Fate made you pick from this list.
He didn't.
You picked this from this
He
list.
didn't have any good choices, to be fair. There's not like there was anything on there that I was going to be like, yes.
Oh,
That's the
that's
point
the
of
point.
Yeah.
But I saw a few on there I would have preferred.
Guys, after this, there's only 2 more Transformers movies.
For now. There's one coming out soon.
There's one coming out next.
And if I were a betting man, it's going to be on this list.
You don't think Rise of the Beast is gonna be a all-time best?
Somehow, I doubt it.
Does it get way hotter in here? All of a
Yeah.
sudden? It's just the hatred coming off.
Gentlemen,
It's the hatred.
let's get out of here.
All right, guys. If you want to tell us your opinion on this movie or any of the movies we've done, please email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. You can find us anywhere podcasts are sold. Please look us up there at 4am podcast. Give us a subscribe, give us a rating, review, and keep in touch. We love you all. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Joe.
God damn.
Thanks. That doesn't count as your next roll.
No, it doesn't.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Adios.
Good night, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, and if possible, leave a review. If you have questions, comments, or would like to sponsor an episode, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can buy a t-shirt, hoodie, and more at Teespring. Or gain access to exclusive content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/4ampodcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.